Hey everybody, it's John Holmberg from The Morning Sickness, and I think you kind of know who I'm sitting with, from Metallica.
Yeah.
Mr. Trujillo, thank you very much. How are you?
Doing great.
Doing great. This tour has got to be mind-blowing. Celebrating your 20th anniversary with a band this big is just unbelievable. I can't believe the guys did this.
Yeah, it's a great party they're throwing for me tonight. Yeah, and every night.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. 40 years. You've been there 20 years now, which is hard to believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the new album is just awesome. And here's how I test new albums. Bands I love, Metallica on that list, I get on my mountain bike, I put it on, and if there's any songs I want to skip, I go back and see if I liked it or not. I blew through the whole thing.
You did.
Didn't even know it was over when it was over. But oddly enough, my phone decided to start playing Pantera, and I'm like, I went through the whole album.
Really?
Nothing made me say no. It was great. How do you feel about it? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, this album, what's interesting that you say that, because back in like 1989, maybe a bit of 88 as well, I was listening to Ride the Lightning ritually, and that was my workout music. But I wasn't on a mountain bike. I was running up in the Santa Monica Mountains, trail running and all that. And then back then it would have been a Walkman.
Yeah.
It wasn't a Discman, it was a Walkman. It wasn't an iPhone. And I was listening to that particular record. Also Slayer, Rain and Blood.
Yeah,
that was the other one.
That just makes you run.
Yeah, it makes you run. Makes you run for your life.
Yeah, exactly. The new album though is so great,
Yeah.
and I'm loving every second. Like everything that's on there. Do you have a favorite song that's on the new record?
Every time I listen to a song I hadn't listened to in a while, it becomes kind of my favorite song for that day. But there are a lot of special moments. This album was created, obviously. The writing part of this started during COVID, and we were working via Zoom from our home studios. So when we actually tracked this thing, and we were together in the same room, there was this really, I don't know. I mean, you want to say emotional, but at the same time, it wasn't like we were crying or anything, but you really felt a connection to your bandmates, because we weren't able to be together in the same room. So every song that we played felt really special. And then when we went into recording some of these songs, like in particular Inamorata, like the bass solo on there, the bass break is a first take, basically.
Oh, no kidding.
Even though I had tracked it maybe 30 times or whatever, our producer Greg Fiddleman ended up using the original tape.
First one.
Yeah, so and every time I had played that thing and tried something different, you literally are closing your eyes and you're in the moment and delivering, whatever it is. But it's just interesting that was the take that he ended up using. So this album, to me, speaks to our fans and just about anybody in a very live, honest way from the heart. And because that's the way we recorded it.
Yeah, it sounds like you're like kind of. I guess the way I kind of felt about COVID, and I never even would have put it in Metallica terms, but it took away everything and then gave it back to you. So it kind of made you more grateful for the band, the brotherhood.
Yeah, it's a great way to put it. The the energy that we felt, when we were able to track the stuff and be in person, because it was like a year or something, which is crazy. Was really special. And also when we did get a chance to track, after testing and going through this, whole process, it felt like you needed to do something intense and special and powerful because of what it took to get there, And
it turns creativity when you're lost like that. It's like something creative comes out of you.
And where we live, my family, my wife and my two kids, we're up in the canyon down there in the Santa Monica Mountains in LA, and we were able to sort of escape the madness and just get into a creative flow. And there was a lot of music coming out of our house, which was
what was your COVID
really
activity?
Cool.
Mine was wiffle ball.
Mine was cooking.
Did you start
I became a chef. No.
You just got interested in starting to do it.
We were having family dinners, like literally, like I was making spaghetti bolognese, I was making pizzas, enchiladas. I mean,
what do you listen to while you're cooking?
Oh, that's great, because we would listen to music. We would, okay, what do you guys want? What do you want to listen to tonight? And it would be like, Yes albums, like, I would turn the family onto something that maybe I grew up with, like Santana, Braxis, or certain albums that meant something to me,
Yeah.
and they'd actually get to experience that music. And we would just kind of rotate different albums,
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin, Sabbath.
What did they bring to the party? What did they want you to?
Well, my kids really like hardcore music, and they would bring, some of these obscure bands to us, but
Yeah.
to them, like Vane FM, some of
Yeah.
these groups from the East Coast, hardcore groups. There's a band called Tear, which is a super cool band. But we have a mixed kind of batch of a mixed selection, I guess
Yeah.
you could say, of what we like to listen to. But the beauty of it is they're turning me on to stuff.
Yeah.
Like I've gone to a couple shows in LA, out in downtown, and I'm blown away. Like I'm watching these mosh pits, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
holy crap, this is
You
insane.
can say it. It's okay.
Oh, really? Okay. Holy shit, this is incredible, So I become motivated by what they're experiencing and what they love, and vice versa. I turn them on to some old school jams, and they appreciate it.
It's cool when rock does that, because that's the undying thing about rock music to me, is that it brings you to something, and then bring other people.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the hold my beer moment for what I'm seeing out here that you guys are doing.
Yes.
It's that thing with rock that, like, watch us cast a shadow over music again.
Right.
And show you what this is. And
Right.
because so you go to these other shows and see these other bands, you're like, this is great, and I love watching. What you guys are doing is unheard of. These screens and what's going on inside the screens, let alone what's underneath that stage, is the fifth member of the band.
That's true. It's also it's your friend, but it's also the beast.
Yes.
Because you never know what that stage is going to offer you, and so it can be unpredictable. Luckily for us, we've I guess you could say we've sort of made friends with it.
Yeah.
So we haven't had
Reluctant
any
friends?
What's that?
Are you reluctant friends?
Well, it depends.
Which night?
Yeah, it depends
Yeah.
on the night. But
What's
late-
your reluctance? Like, what's your relationship with the stage? Where like this
Well,
gets me here every
here's
time.
the thing that we got to be careful for is pyro, because
yes.
some of the pyro cues happen, and when they happen, we've got to be aware.
Oh, yeah.
And everything's black up there, so some of these small holes are going to blow up.
Fire.
And if you're standing on that thing, you could get blown up. But they're pretty good about watching us and keeping us safe. That seems to be one of the biggest sort of challenges.
You're
is
just playing bass for
not
God's sake.
getting
You shouldn't
blown
be
up.
on fire.
Welcome to
Just
Metallica.
entertaining. I know, exactly. It's an insane thing.
Yeah.
And would you remember the first time you picked up a bass, and where were you?
So, I was at my friend's house in junior high. A friend of mine, David Santana. We dreamt of being musicians, of being in a band, and I didn't know what I wanted to play. I at one point I wanted to play drums, and then I wanted to be like Keith Emerson and Emerson Lake Palmer and be up there with all these synthesizers. and then we realized right away, because I lived in apartment buildings,
Right.
that I couldn't be banging on drums. So they gave me like a pad.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, this is boring, right? And then I couldn't have a piano because it was just too big, and couldn't get it up the stairs. And so I had this little like plastic, kind of keyboard, and that was no
that's no
fun.
good.
But my dad had a friend who had a hollow body bass, and it didn't work through an amp, but I could hear it because it was like semi-acoustic. So I played that thing for a long time. I feel like it was about a year, and I became sort of obsessed with it. And then I heard a bass solo somewhere. I think it was like Cal Jam or something. And I was like, that's the instrument. Oh,
Yeah.
I want to play this. And then I also discovered that all those funky bass lines from the 70s and from Motown and then Sabbath, and it just kind of progressed into like this really great instrument that I realized had a lot of personalities, and it controlled the groove and
Do
the
you
power.
think about that kid when you hit this humongous stadium?
It's interesting because when I hit this humongous stadium, what I do, and I have to do this, I kind of create this bubble around me. So the fans and all 70,000 people or whatever the number is, that's amazing. Don't get me wrong, but I have to create this bubble to where I'm focused on, number one, having fun.
Oh yeah.
And number two, the song, and basically performing this thing, and being in the moment and in the zone.
Is it? This is an odd thing. But
It's kind of like riding a wave,
right? Can you
or riding
enjoy
a
it?
mountain bike?
Well,
It's literally like that. You're in the
I don't think
groove.
you can compare what I
You're
do with a mountain bike.
flowing. Same thing with on the stage. You're grooving. You're flowing. You're looking at your bandmates, and you're having a good time.
Yeah, because is there a moment can you enjoy it while it's happening, or is it just the before and after? While you're there, it's just you're making it work.
No, you got to have fun.
Yeah.
You know, James and I, it's funny because prior to the shows in Dallas, these shows were being filmed around the world, and we didn't want to get caught up in that and feel like we had to sort of change our mindset because we were going to be on camera. We said, you know what? It's all about having fun.
Right.
Let's go have fun. And those were two of the best shows up to that point. They were the best shows. And, even at the second show of those, on the Sunday night, James actually forgot a whole section of You Must Burn, the middle section. And at that moment, we're all kind of looking at each other like, what's going on?
It's like a club show now.
And he copped to it afterward, in front of everybody
Right.
on camera. And I just thought that was so cool
Yeah.
because it doesn't happen much.
No.
And for it to happen and happen live.
Was it a train wreck in your ears?
It was a train wreck in my ears, but
You covered
it was just kind of like we edited this whole piece of it. And then all of a sudden you're thinking, did I mess that up? Oh man, I wonder, did I black out?
Yeah.
And,
Am I alive?
and am I alive? Am I going to wake up and I'm going to be in bed? And
Yeah.
like, whoa.
So, and then you're in LA, and you've got Jason Momoa standing there, and that's become an internet sensation.
Right.
And that had to be awesome to just watch him own that mosh pit, the snake pit. It's just Momoa's out there. Dave Grohl's in disguise, I hear. I just found that out today.
Oh wow, yeah. So again, I'm in the bubble,
Yeah, so you don't know it.
and I'm seeing him, and I'm seeing my old guitar player from Suicidal Tendencies. I haven't seen in about 18 years, and I'm just like, wow. And then on top of it, there's like 8 circle pits, mosh pits, all on the SoFi Stadium, floor, including the snake pit in the middle. And I mean, it wasn't just like your everyday kind of average mosh pit. It was aggressive, and I loved it. It was like, this is aggro energy. This is top to bottom. People really feeling what we're delivering.
Yeah.
So that was a powerful moment.
Explain to me what Lucky Turtles is.
Lucky Turtles.
Yeah, someone told we were talking about it on the way. Somebody in Europe they were singing instead of Luxy Turna.
Oh,
Lucky Turtles. Did you catch
that
that?
happens a lot. Wrath of Man on 72 Seasons is a rack of lamb. Rack
Did you ever do
of
it?
lamb.
Did you ever do it on stage? Sing it that way and wink at
I've
each
been
other?
tempted. I've been tempted, man. I ain't gonna lie. I've been tempted.
Do it for us in Phoenix.
I might do it.
Yeah.
Either tomorrow night or Sunday.
Yeah.
That can happen.
If I hear Rack of Lamb, I'm going to lose it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that's pretty awesome.
If I see you in the snake pit, I'm gonna
You
sing
will
that,
someday.
and I'm gonna go.
Okay, that's for you. All right, beautiful. I'll make note of that.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
wear a shirt that says "Remember Rack of Lamb," or I'll put little things on my ears to make me think of Rack of Lamb.
James comes up with that crazy stuff. Like he's the one who came up with the rack of lamb.
Have you seen the meme of James where he's sitting next to Mark McGuire? It says, "Give me fuel, give me fire. I look like Mark McGuire."
No, I haven't seen that.
That's
I
one of
did
my
see
favorite
that. I saw that. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It came up actually today. There's a photo of Danny Trejo with forget the actor's name. I'm embarrassed to say it. I forget. He's got kind of the lion image. This one particular actor. He's been in
Hellboy.
Yeah.
Somebody will remember that. Oh,
Ron Perlman.
Ron
Yes.
Perlman.
Ron Perlman.
There you go.
Yes.
Nice. We can count on the crew.
And it says James Hetfield and Robert Trujillo. So Danny Trejo, I'm Danny Trejo, and Ron Perlman, James Hetfield.
perfect.
And I was like, all right, cool.
That's hilarious. What is the one thing about this tour? If you were just a fan, you'd want to tell me to go. You must see it.
Well,
Don't miss this, little subtlety. But this is the thing you gotta see.
What's happening now, and it's taken us time to get to this point in the tour. When we started out, we were trying different things, and it wasn't all working the right way. We had too many intro tapes, so you get a flow going. 2 songs in, all of a sudden you have to stop, and there's this kind of 90-second intro tape, and then you start up again. So there's a lot of starts and stops, and we realized that we had to fine-tune the show a bit more, make it more about the people, and and just have a bit more fun with it, less technical, a little more interaction. So one of the things is Kirk and I, we have this moment where we literally, you know, over the course of a day or two, a couple of days, we prepare a song for that show. You know, like, this is for you. It's a 2-minute song, and I mean, I'm talking lead section, riff, you know, break, you know, bridge,
Just
all these little
that
ingredients for that city, you know, and so we customize an arrangement for that city. And what's great about that is, number one, it's honest, because, you know, of course we want to make it perfect and we want to nail it, but it doesn't always happen.
Right.
You know, sometimes so many kind of snafus, and you know, it's like, oh man.
Yeah.
But to me, it's the purity of it, and it's the spontaneity of the moment, and it's us in front of, you know, again,
awesome.
70,000 people with this piece of music that we're presenting to that city.
Yeah.
And we've been doing that. That's something that originally we weren't doing, so that's become a part of it. And there was a jam called Rose Avenue, which originally the bass line, the main bass line, was kind of jammed on or prepared when Kirk and I were at Venice Beach.
Right.
Like at Rose Avenue.
Literally there.
So, you know, we brought it back into, you know, kind of fruition through this jam, and we tried it in New York. Kirk had the wrong sound, so we had arranged it and put it together in New York. But then Kirk, you know, it's the first gig, so he forgot to tell his guitar tech, I need heavy, I need this, and his guitar tech had a clean sound. It was like, oh, so you feel a little defeated. So then when we were in LA, we're going to save it, we're going to bring it back in LA, and we're going to rearrange it, and we did, and we played it a lot better this time.
Yeah.
It wasn't maybe perfect. You know, I'm always thinking it's got to be. You know?
Is anything perfect?
But
Are you that guy that walks off going?
It's yeah, you know. I mean, we had a couple near perfect moments for sure. But that's the beauty of it. Yeah. It's not always going to be that way, and that's okay.
And everything's different.
It's about the feel and the flow.
So there's a song for Phoenix while you're here.
Oh, we got a couple, man.
Can I get any sort of tease on what that's called? What's it about?
Okay, so
if you say Bourbon Street,
no,
because that's all about our strip clubs.
No, because the titles. Here's the thing: the titles. Kirk comes up with the titles. Okay. So, you know, I don't even know sometimes what half of them mean. Like, one of them was called Alligator Patch.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. You know,
what did he see?
You know, another one is called, you know, that's, you know, Miller Time or something, and he may see something, you know, in his house, or he may see something wherever we are that'll remind him of that. So,
well, I'm curious about that.
He's the title master. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Well, if that doesn't sell the last 2 remaining tickets, nothing will.
That's
a way to drag them, and that is so cool. What would you tell young Rob Trujillo about what you're experiencing now? Go back and tell that kid who had that hollow bass.
Okay, yeah, I got you. Well, you know, what we're experiencing, what he would be experiencing, what the world experiences is live music, real music, and it's honest music, and I love that so much, because in a day and age where things are processed and there's a lot of sort of artificial music. I mean, I was listening to the radio the other day.
Was it my show?
No, not yours. No, but I'm saying that's a good thing, because I was listening to music and giving it a chance, and I realized that, man, this is all programmed. There isn't even a bass player on this song. And it's funny, because I was hanging out with Jerry Cantrell in LA. James's son Castor has a band called Bastardane, and my son Ty has a band called Otto,
and they were playing at Crescent Ballroom Saturday.
Yes, which is going to be awesome. Go check it out if you can.
For sure.
But they were playing in LA at the Viper Room. We're sitting there, and Jerry actually commented, said it's so great that young people are playing real music and singing and writing and creating. And he goes, you know, no disrespect to the duet bands around the world, but he was like going, it's so great to see a bass player in a band, you know what I mean? Because sometimes it's the drummer and a guitar player, and that's it, or it's the bass player and a drummer and no guitar player. So it's like, you know, it's nice to have the real musicians writing and creating, but coming from the youth,
Yeah.
because it means that, either whether it's Metallica or whether it's Black Sabbath or whether it's whoever, it's speaking to our youth to create.
Yeah.
And
Which is great, and you guys are going to inspire that
well,
again.
Well, that's the thing that we've been seeing younger audiences mixed in with the elders and everything in between, and that's pretty intense.
And it's not just parents dragging their kids. The kids want to go.
Yeah.
They want to be part of it. So you guys are
Yeah.
multi-generational now. which
It's
is
happening,
weird,
yeah.
right?
It's come to that, and I think it's a beautiful thing to experience and see.
Yeah.
We never know what's going to happen, You never.
That's the fun of rock shows.
Yeah.
It's the best part.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually enjoy when a guy's guitar string breaks. I like when somebody forgets a part and the band looks at each other.
So
Because there's
do I.
no better feeling on the stage going, we'll get it. That's the brotherhood. That's
Yeah.
when it ties together. Like, I got your back, you got mine. It's really.
It's so funny. It's funny you mention that, because somebody sent me a clip of my son, actually, and he was playing and he broke a string, and it pops. It's like,
Yeah.
and then he just goes, and he switched to the
Yeah.
to the higher strings, like without even flinching.
Yeah.
Pop.
He's got it.
And I'm like, whereas I would be going, ah.
My guitar broke.
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. But those moments are again pure,
Authentic.
real, and
great.
it's the beauty of being in a rock band that plays,
Yeah.
honest, real music.
Dude, I could talk to you all day. I appreciate your time. It's so nice of you guys to do this. This is what Metallica is known for.
Yeah.
Reaching out and touching the local stations and stuff. So
Well, thank you
Can't
for
say-
what you do,
Oh,
because
brother, no
we
problem.
couldn't do it without you. So
we'd be nothing.
Yeah.
What are we gonna play without you
what
guys?
we do?
Yeah. You've also got the whiskey. You're doing a whiskey signing on Saturday, or is that tomorrow or Saturday?
Saturday.
That's Saturday.
Saturday,
from 2
yeah.
to 3 over there at Paradise. So you're going to sign some blackened bottles for the
Oh, yeah.
folks and everything else. Tell us words of wisdom as we walk away. Look into that camera and fix the world, Rob Trujillo.
Oh well, we would all like to fix the world, but I can honestly say this: the music of Metallica and the music of all great bands brings the world together, unifies, and it's all about smiling and having a good time with the music and enjoying it, because that's what I've noticed from these shows is 70, 80,000 people coming together and just having a great time.
We
and
need that.
Leaving their problems at home and enjoying the moment. And that makes us really happy.
Well,
And, hopefully we will continue this journey
Keep
as
going.
long as we can.
Keep going. Wheel your ass up on that stage.
Yeah, we will. I'll bring my wheelchair. I got all my,
That's beautiful. Brother, thank you for everything, you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for bringing it to us. Rob Trujillo from Metallica, everybody. The show, available. Barely any tickets left. If you haven't got one yet, you're wasting your night. Go to the Metallica show and see something that is spectacular, because just the sneak preview I saw is unreal. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Awesome.